Well, I think we all kind of know how or many of us know how sort of the initial design and planning process goes for a common diseases where you can rely upon so many other studies. You have relied upon endpoints that, you already know are well accepted by both patients and physicians and the patient population in general. So how does like your process, like maybe you can kind of talk about some of the fundamental differences, right? When you're kind of planning for a new rare disease program, how you even start differently than if you were looking at this program for a more common disease. Like, for example, you talked in the beginning about the patient reported outcomes, which in a lot of cases are part of, maybe a co-primary endpoint in some studies, or at least part of the overall submission package.
If you look at a more common disease like asthma, right? There are treatment guidelines. There's a fairly established paradigm for what the effectiveness outcomes are going to be. And you have a whole infrastructure built globally around physicians and professional associations that provide you guidance on what is going to be beneficial to patients, at least what's going to be an impact. And there might even be guidelines at the regulatory level that say, in order to show that your drug works, you need to show us X, and it has to be X 30% at least, or 40% above X, right? And, this is how we feel about specific outcomes. In rare disease, we might not have any of that. And in fact, no one may really know very much about it. There might be a few experts around the world who've treated, some cohort of patient, but when we're dealing with diseases that have 6, 10,000, 20,000, even 100,000 patients all around the world, that's not very many people. And there may not be very much data there. So we would tend to start out, well, who's the leaders? Who are the leaders in this field? What is it that they know? What else is it that needs to be known in order to design a clinical trial and, to prove that a drug or whatever kind of technology you're dealing with here actually works?